Today we're going to be going over how to parry in Clair Obscur Expedition 33. And before we get into how to parry, we've got to go over what a parry is versus a dodge. Because if you know those two things, it's going to open a whole realm of possibilities. So first things first, a dodge is easier to get off than a parry. The time window that you've got to hit to get that dodge off is bigger than it is with a parry. In addition, dodges tend to recharge faster. So if you make a dodge and it's too early, you're more likely to be able to get off a second dodge when that attack hits than if you did a parry. Now, the big difference between a dodge and a parry is if you dodge, you're not going to take damage, just like a parry. But unlike a parry, if you dodge, you don't make an attack. So if you get a parry down, you're going to make an attack on the enemy. So you're going to dodge their hit and attack the enemy, whereas in the case of a dodge, you merely dodge the enemy's attack. And neither one's bad. If you can just keep dodging the attacks and never get any damage done, it really doesn't matter how long it takes you to kill an enemy. But let's assume you're not that elite. You're a bit like me. Every now and then you mess things up and you're a bit impatient. ADHD is kicking in. So here's how parries work. The way you want to do a parry is, first things first, if you're doing a parry on a multi-attack, so if there's like 3 different hits that you've got to parry, if you miss the first one, switch over to dodges. A dodge is easier to get off. You're no longer going to be able to attack the enemy, so just go to dodge. Now, assuming that's not the case, with the parry, how to get off a perfect parry, how to make parries work perfectly is you need to use your eyes and your ears. It's going to depend on the attack. So certain attacks have a bit of a musical, a bit of a sound to them, right? Like a lot of the magical attacks, you can't really see any sort of hand movements or anything like that. It's merely a sound. You're going to hear like a, and that third one, that's when you hit the parry button. So like in the case of an electrical attack or in case of a lot of spells, there's a sound that leads up to the attack actually hitting you. And on that sound, that is when you should be doing the parry. The easiest example is a spell where it hits in front of you first. So maybe it's 1, 2, 3, and 3 is when you get hit, or it's just 1 and 2 is where you get hit. When you see 1 drop or you see 2 drop, that's when you want to parry, and that means that you're going to be able to sort of dodge the attack. In the case of this, sometimes it's best not even to look at the screen because that throws me off. If I know it's a sound cue attack, I'll generally just look down and focus on listening. Pretend it's your girlfriend, pretend you're in an argument, and pretend she's going to get really mad at you if you get things wrong. So make sure you get all the details right, make sure you listen with your ears, and make sure your girlfriend is always right, even if she's wrong. Anyways, now, moving on. Other attacks are going to be more of a melee-based attack. Melee-based attacks, in my opinion, you tend to see more of the movement rather than hear sound. So with a sword or with a swing, generally at some point in the swing, that's when you're going to hit your parry. You've just got to figure out where that point is and hit the parry when that point comes. Usually your first encounter with an enemy is going to be the hardest encounter. After that, you get your timings down and you're good to go. Now, in addition to this, when it comes to a ranged attack, it really does depend on the ranged attack. Some attacks are very easy to get off based on sound, but other attacks you just need to see what the enemy's doing and plan things based on that. Now, I know that doesn't help a ton. There's certain enemies that you've just got to look at it. You've got to break it down. And if it's a really hard enemy, there's people online like myself who break it down for you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.